Hi guys, John Ashwood here. Just giving you a little bit of introduction to the Viper workout that I've just created for you. Obviously you can see behind me it's rather dark now, so the programs that I've had to film and put on YouTube for you guys, so when I'm away you can keep on living the dream and getting fit really. But it's taken me a while to do, so I hope you enjoy them. The Viper workout that I've just created for you is a very simple and effective workout. It's based on 6 exercises, I believe. I might be wrong, might be 5, might be 6. If it's 6 then great, if it's 5 then oh well. But the idea is that obviously the Viper is a great piece of equipment to create great fat burning and great calorie burning. That obviously depends on how you use it. So what I would recommend for you on this workout is that basically try to go from exercise to exercise. By the end of the circuit you should find that your heart rate should be up naturally, because that's what the Viper does. Remember, it's a crossover between movement training and resistance training, so it will create a high calorie burning effect over the body. The other thing I need to tell you as well about this workout is that if you haven't got a timer on you, work at 20 repetitions per exercise. Do the circuit 5 times, 20 repetitions per circuit, per exercise, typical, and yeah, do the circuit 5 times. It should last about 25 minutes, depending on 30 minutes, depending on recovery. So depending on what you want to be doing, I would recommend 20 repetitions. If you've got timer, 45 seconds per exercise. Also, obviously, to create a little bit more intensity, variations in weight obviously will depend on how you feel within yourself, but obviously that will create a harder exercise program for you. The other thing is as well, if you get to the point and you find it's too easy, work on actually executing the exercises properly. Also, if you shorten your recovery time, the circuit becomes 10 times harder. So really focus on that and you should get a great workout. I'll see you when I get back. If you're doing this on YouTube, enjoy. Email me for any more questions, and I will see everybody soon when I get back off holiday. Keep living the dream. I expect good things. Enjoy your Viper workout. Okay, so the first exercise you're going to be doing is what's called a forward hip tilt. So with the forward hip tilt on the Viper, you're going to grab what's called a neutral grip. So you should know what a neutral grip is by now. Neutral grip is obviously the handles. You're going to make sure the starting position for the Viper is drawn into your chest, just below your sternum. So your shoulder blades should squeeze together. Your body position is nice and tall. And it's very, very simple. You're going to take a step forward, transferring the weight onto one leg, and then pushing the Viper away from the body line. The Viper should sit away from the body line with straight arms, and the Viper should sit no lower, really, than the knee. We're aiming to get it away from the body line. From there, pull it back in, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and then alternate the legs. So I'm just going to demonstrate a few of these so you get the idea of what it's like. Keeping posture nice and tall, making sure that I'm not collapsing through my spine. Core nice and locked on. And then making sure that I'm keeping a nice fluid pattern. The forward hip tilt. So the second exercise you're going to be doing is what's called a lateral step with an inside reach. And exactly the same as the first exercise, you're going to take a neutral grip again. This exercise is basically on the opposite of what we just done. We're going to step laterally now. So we're going to take a step one side. And basically with this exercise you're going to reach internally towards your ankle, making sure that the Viper finishes past your shin, your toe. The idea is we want to mobilise the hip joint here, so the further you reach this side, the more it's going to mobilise the hip, and we're going to feel more external work going on in the outside of the glutes. So alternating sides, make sure the posture is nice and tall, you're squeezing your shoulder blades at the top, you're going to step laterally, reach low, and then alternate the sides. Yeah, so from here to here, just stepping, reaching inside my ankle, brushing the end of the Viper past my toes and my shin. That's it. This exercise is what's called a shovel drill. So the shovel drill is working laterally this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to take what's called the suitcase grip. So there's a single handle here. Grab hold of the suitcase grip, take one hand on end, and the idea is we're going to do a little bit of a shuffle pattern going on in this exercise. The idea is to focus on loading and unloading the Viper through different planes. So the idea is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step laterally, and I'm going to load the Viper down towards my ankle and reach past my shin. So from here, I reach past the shin, take the Viper the furthest away I possibly can, and the idea is I'm going to shuffle and unload the Viper over my shoulder. So the idea is I'm unloading here, I'm taking a step in, taking it through the range of movement, loading through my hips, keep my posture tall, and then pulling it over my shoulder. Very important that when I pull the Viper back, I'm drawing back with the shoulder blade here. So when I take a step forward and reach down towards the shin, the ankle, past my body line, I'm unloading the Viper over, but drawing it back with my shoulder blade. That's what's. Okay, so the next exercise we're going to be doing is what's called a lunged uppercut. So the idea is we're going to work in a forward step pattern. The idea is what we're going to think about doing is driving with the opposite hand. So this is where kind of we're working through the sling system. So if I step forward with one leg, I'm going to drive with the opposite hand. So if I step forward with my right leg, I'm going to drive with my left hand. So the left hand is the driver on this exercise. It's basically a lunge pattern, or you can do a step pattern depending on how you feel about this exercise. So the idea is I'm going to take a step forward, and I'm going to pull the Viper and drive it with my opposite hand, and it's going to go over my shoulder. The idea is it's going to mobilise the hips, it's going to drive up. The idea is to get a good fluid pattern with this exercise. Concentrate on driving the Viper over the shoulder. Keep my posture nice and tall. Show you this from the side on. I always say with this exercise it's like you're holding a bazooka, so the finishing position should be like holding a bazooka. The cylinder should literally be facing forward, and it should be in a nice straight line. So it's called a lunged uppercut. Next exercise we're going to be doing is what's called a cylinder squat. You can do this in different kind of variations. So I'm going to show you two variations of this exercise. The first one we're going to be doing is actually taking the Viper up through some catches. So the first one I'm going to show you is doing that, and the second one we're going to be doing is just purely the cylinder squat. So the idea is you're going to take the Viper literally on end with your fingers inside. From here, posture's going to be nice and tall, and what you want to think about doing, every time you catch the Viper, absorb the workload through a squat. So from here, I'm going to pull the Viper up, I'm going to catch it, and I'm going to squat. Now from here, my posture's nice and tall. I'm going to slide my hands down the Viper, drive it up with my hips, and then squat again. The idea is I finish with the Viper nice and tall, but my hands below one of the neutral grips, so the bottom neutral grip. From here, I can take the Viper away from my body line to increase workload, or I can have it here, and the idea is to squat up and down. You see through my squat, I'm squatting straight down, posture nice and tall, and the idea is that you repeat that with 4 squats at the bottom. So you do the cylinder lift, followed by 4 squats, or you can just do the squats. So the next exercise we're going to do is what's called a tilt pattern. So we're going to do a lateral tilt pattern with a shuffle. So what's called a lateral shuffle, in my eyes anyway. So the idea is what we're going to do is we're going to tilt the Viper from side to side. Yeah, this is what's called a tilt pattern. The idea is I'm going to shuffle and I'm going to squat, varying the size what I'm going to be doing. The idea is we want to think about powering up out the squat to create the intensity. So the Viper is going to be tilted to one side. I catch it with one hand, and the idea is I shuffle, squat, and come back up. The idea is I change sides from side to side and then pick up the pace. So I'm taking the Viper to each hand at the top end. So here's the easiest point to change hands, and the idea is to build the intensity up and as well as the speed. So it's called the lateral shuffle.